Hello world, it's Dave again, and I got another quick video for you here that I thought I'd do just on the most recent event or party that I went to with one of my schools, and it was really cool. And now, having done it, I understand better why it even happened in the first place. Where I'm on my spring break right now, and this is to transition between the old and the previous and the next year, and you usually have parties, as you enter into the major breaks, and that's the only reason you need for them. When you go into your Christmas holidays, they usually have a party then. But this one, I felt like I just had a party earlier in the month with everybody. We'd gone out, and so I thought, why would they be having a second one? And when I got to it, I now understand. This was a farewell party that I ended up going to, where there was the way that they do it in Japan is that whenever at the end of every school year, there's usually a group of teachers that is going to transition into a different school, whether that's in elementary school, high school, or junior high school like I'm in. And so they have this party to properly say goodbye and just to wish them well on their way. And I think that's fantastic. It shows a particular appreciation for the work that the people have put in, and it's a great note to end on. So this was there were a couple things that made this a little bit different, a little more. The one at Christmas is pretty big, pretty intense, but this one I could tell was particularly important, where we booked a hotel nearby. And we all had rooms for the evening, so regularly, or usually, there's a few people when we go out to these things who are the designated drivers, and they're not able to drink for that evening. And so in this way, everybody who comes out, if they want to, there are still some people who don't necessarily drink, but if you wanted to drink, you've got that hotel room booked, so you're in great shape, that if you want to have a few drinks, then you don't need to worry about driving. You're safe and sound, and everything's good. And it was great, it started with all the people who are going to be leaving. They sat at the front of the room, and then the principal got up and he gave a speech for each individual person, just saying thank you so much. And I can't speak Japanese fluently, but I got the gist of it. Thanking them for each individual role that they had. They were presented then with some nice flowers for each person, and then the first leg of the party began. I call it legs because there was 3 legs, and each time I kept thinking, oh, the party must be over, but it kept going, which was really cool. So as soon as he gives the speech to them, everybody sits down. They start serving a little bit more food out to the tables, and it's at this point in time, in true Japanese tradition, I mentioned it a dozen times, I'll mention it a dozen more, that everybody gets up with their beers or the big bottles of beer that come out to the tables, and they start going around and pouring for each other, which I think is a fantastic tradition, although I've warned about this and that you'd be used to stopping yourself. But you can be like drinking a little bit and not even notice, somebody's going to top you up, and then you got to keep in mind that that's happening, so your rate of drinking is probably much higher. It really kicks things off, especially because, you'd think you'd be safe if you just didn't drink anything, you had yourself a beer poured, you were good to go, but people will come up to you again and again and again and expect you to clear space in your glass for them to be able to pour for you. And so everybody probably gets, they're not big glasses, but everybody's probably getting in like 2 or 3 of these glasses deep within the first 5 minutes, just based entirely on politeness, that whoever comes around and wants to pour for you, that you'd be like, oh, thank you so much, or I'll clear some space so you can pour. But like I said, you got to be careful. You got to be thinking about these kind of things, because it's a different sort of pace that you're enduring in this night as compared to at home, where it is you who are solely responsible for your drink, and you can't expect your friends around you to be topping you up the whole time and then drinking at a different pace because of it. So that went for a little while. Food's coming out. Everybody's wandering around. I did a little bit of that, get in the good graces, be kind, be a part of the tradition, and pour for people. And then probably only after about 2 hours, I was like, oh, looks like it's wrapping up. But little did I know that what was wrapping up, like I say, was the first leg of the party, where if you've got older people in the crowd, this gives them a time to graciously bow out, where they might just, they don't want to be a part of it anymore, and they can go to bed. And at this point, I was still pretty gung-ho and like, oh no, I have to stop drinking. You know, I don't drink that often, but I like to make the effort when I go out, and I do. And so I quickly slammed down my 2 drinks and then found out that was entirely unnecessary because the party was to continue. And so it did. And then more food came out, which was awesome, and everybody starts drinking more, and then they set up a karaoke thing, this time-honored tradition of Japan. I know people enjoy karaoke back where I'm from in Canada, but not enough. I'm going to definitely make this more of a thing when I go home. I'm going to get people to go out for karaoke because it is damn fun. And especially, you know, when everybody's like got some social lubricant, you've had a few drinks, and you're not nearly so self-conscious, obviously, and it's a great environment. So everybody starts drinking, everybody's getting into it a whole bunch more, going around pouring drinks. At this time, the honshu, the sake is coming out as well, you know, so it's not incredibly strong again, where it's only something like 15 or 20%, but because it's so much more easily drank, you have to be very, very careful about that. It's not like you're taking shots, you're taking like mini shots, but then those can add up so quickly if you're not thinking about it. I was this time, though. In a previous video, I talked about how I kind of lost my head at the feast, so to speak. So I was on my game this time. And secondly, the party starts, like I said, everybody's doing the karaoke. It's tons of fun. And that finally, after all the food's eaten and everybody's drank for a good amount, that wraps up. And by this time, I was like, that was good for me. I have sufficiently got my game face on. I am probably ready to go to bed at this point in time. This has been wonderful. I'm so glad to have been a part of this experience. And then we go downstairs out of the banquet hall, and I noticed that everybody's kind of still milling around like it's not over. And I said, you know, what's going on? And they're like, oh, well, there's still the other party to go to. I was like, what? Like, round 3. So round 3 is a whole nother karaoke stint where everybody piles into a bunch of taxis, drive off to not that far away, and yeah, you get yourself a karaoke room, and everybody proceeds to drink that much more. And at this time, I think I limited myself to like 1 beer. I was like, there's just no way I'm drinking more. Not now. I don't want to not remember this in the morning. And it was smart that I did. Tons of fun. I sang the quintessential white guy karaoke songs. I got up the first time, I sang Wonderwall. Somebody wanted me to sing Taylor Swift, and I was like, I just don't know that. I'm sorry. So I'll go, yeah, grew up through the 90s, Wonderwall. And then when I got to the actual karaoke bar, the official karaoke bar, I did the full white guy karaoke thing again, and I sang Under the Bridge, which was good. It was good. Everybody seemed to enjoy it as much as they might not understand a word of what I'm saying. I was well received. So yeah, it was great. I really enjoyed it, a positive experience. And if you're wondering if you've come over to here to teach, what's this end of year party that costs so much money? Well, the reason for that is you're probably staying at a hotel, and it's a farewell, which is really cool. I've signed my second contract now, and it's sort of sad because I was like, I'm signing this contract for a variety of reasons. I want to continue to learn the language, develop the relationships that I have, see the kids that I was already teaching again. Number of different reasons, but like I've just mentioned, one of those big reasons was I want to develop these relationships, and it was just so sad to see that a couple of people that I'd gotten on along so well with and was hopefully going to do so in the following year, they were among the people who were actually taking off. But change is good. Change keeps us alive. I think it's important to experience that, as sad as it might be. So that was unfortunate, but okay, it's all right. You know, I'll give it its due, you know, hour long of mourning, but then I'll move on and welcome whatever new things, because I guess we'll probably then have new teachers. That's my thought. You know, nobody tells me anything. I just kind of like experience these things as they happen. But if I could think about it, that would be my thought, is that we probably get some new teachers, and that's a whole bunch of possibilities there. Maybe they're horrible, maybe they're wonderful. You never know. You never know. But all's well that ends well. Cool farewell party. Another cool piece of their traditions and culture that I got to be a part of. So I'm very grateful. Yeah, if you like the video, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. I continue to make videos. If you have any questions, my contact is down below, and you can write me to ask about working in Japan, and I'll do my best to give you an answer that might give you a little bit of help. All right, so like I like to say, until we meet again next time, world, thanks for tripping with Dave. Ciao for now. Peace.